Good evening, everyone. Tonight I have chosen to do my speech topic on human rights. Now, human rights is such a broad speech topic that I decided to go towards the topic of abortion. Now, my reasoning for this topic of abortion is the fact that many women in the present, past, as well as in the future have to face at one point in time or another, when pregnant, the choice of abortion or not doing abortion, and they have to ask themselves, is abortion right for me and should I get an abortion? Well, the reason for why I'm talking to you tonight about abortion is because I strongly oppose abortion. My main reason for opposing abortion and for being able to talk about this topic is the fact that I am pregnant and I've had to face the cold, harsh reality of my actions, and such as, so many other women have had to do this. Well, I had my family, my parents, my friends and relatives, all of them were opposing this, and they were either supporting the idea or they were opposing it to me. I had the opportunity around about a year ago to go to Washington, D.C. to visit our nation's capital on a senior government trip. And on the senior government trip, we went and toured many areas inside the Capitol and outside around the Capitol. And we went to this one area where they were protesting abortion. And it touched me greatly because of the fact that the people there had tape over their mouths and they were singing songs. And on the tape, I can't really remember what it said, but it was basically saying that children who are being aborted do not have a voice. And that is so true. Children do not have a voice towards being aborted or towards having life. And I think that is so sad. Another question that I would pose is, would I be here today if my mother would have chosen to abort me? And if my mother would have chosen to abort me, of course I wouldn't be here today. And I believe that every single person has a purpose on this earth, and God puts us there. Another thing that I pose is the fact that it's interesting how it's illegal to go out and commit the crime of killing other people, and we go to jail. We either go to jail or we have the death penalty ourselves for killing another innocent person. Yet, if a young teenage mother is not ready for the decision that she should have thought about before she made it, she can go right ahead and kill that unborn fetus that does not have a say in what goes on. I find that very interesting. Another thing that I was reading on the internet was the fact that whenever abortion started coming up, anti-abortionists kind of view themselves as good Germans. Good Germans in the sense that they're the kind of people that stopped the Jews from getting persecuted from the bad Nazis. And so on is the fact that they view themselves as kind of, in an olden day sense, opposing slavery. They group themselves into this category. Now, I don't know if I group myself into that category or I think of it in that aspect. I just think of the moral aspect of it, and the aspect that children do not have a voice. And a lot of reasons for why people want to abort is because they're not ready to take on that responsibility of having a child. Well, my thought on that is, if you're not ready to have a child, then what is the point of going out and doing acts that will cause you to become impregnated and have that child? Another thing that I found interesting was I was reading on the internet about this girl who, she got pregnant at a very young age. She wasn't sure what she was going to do. She had no idea. And she talked to her grandmother about it, and her grandmother told her, well, maybe it's time for you to just go and get an abortion. So she goes to the clinic, gets everything set up, gets in her gown, and they wheel her off to the surgical room. The whole time that she's there, she's thinking, why am I doing this? What is this doing for me? I want to keep this child and I do not want to abort it. As they were putting the anesthesia on her, she was thinking this, but she couldn't say anything. she didn't have the power to just walk out. Well, they ended up taking out the fetus and going through with the abortion. When she awoke, she was so stricken with grief and began crying, and the nurse told her to be quiet because she'd wake up all the other people. Well, turns out that she went a couple of weeks after the abortion having to deal with that pain, and a doctor made a very big mistake in all of this.
Hey.
Oh, you've got